And welcome to Cooper High School's Barbara A. Lehman Stadium here in New Hope for playoff football. It is the final night of the football season for 2020 in this COVID-19 shortened season. Section 5A, what was going to be a semifinal matchup, now just a matchup. The number 3 seed, the Minneapolis Southwest Lakers, and the number 2 seed, the Cooper Hawks. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, along with Ryan Iverson, and Allie Mosley will join us field side as well here tonight. And Ryan, everybody the midweek kind of found out when the governor made his announcement that sports were going to be paused, as they called it, that the football season would end this week. And earlier in the week, Southwest was supposed to play Park Center. They found out just the day of the game they couldn't do that because of COVID. And I think it's a relief for these teams to just kind of know that, okay, we got one more night. Let's go out and give it all we got. For this time of year, pretty decent weather. Let's see what two good football teams can do out here tonight.
No, absolutely. Just knowing what the future holds is a big deal for these kids and these programs. It's also a sad deal, right? Because usually you don't end a season on a win, and one of these two teams is going to win here tonight, and that's the end of it. So you feel for these seniors especially. But great advice I've always been given is you control what you can control, and everything else is out of your control. So enjoy tonight. Make the most of it. For a lot of these players, most of these seniors, it's the last time they're going to be playing football.
A little bit different for both these teams. Cooper is actually healthier than they've been for a while. They've had, no big COVID outbreaks for Cooper, but, various times throughout the year where, okay, so-and-so might have been exposed, and they said we were extra cautious. We made them sit out entirely. Now they've actually got more of their guys back than what they've had in some of the recent games. Southwest, it's a little bit of the other way around. They've had a couple of starters who this week decided that their families made the decision that it's getting too risky, and they came out and didn't come to play here in this game this evening. So I think you definitely have had to have some flexibility for both of these staffs this season and all these players to know that everything's maybe not going to be just exactly how you thought it would be.
And guess what, Jay? It drives coaches terribly mad. Most of them are control freaks, right? They want to know exactly when practice is, who's going to be there, what our opponent is. They have a routine, and this year has been anything but routine with last-minute game cancellations and additions, and it's just been a crazy, crazy year. And just like I said, excited for both of these teams to win or lose. You go out, you leave everything on the field, and that's something you can always look back and be proud of.
A lot of what-ifs for Cooper this year. They're 3-3 coming in. Basically all of their games, except maybe the St. Louis Park game, have been very close. Their 3 losses are, close games. 2-point to Benilde, and a close loss to a good Orono team that we had on CCX earlier in the season. And they've been very tight games all the way along, which makes for good football. And I think that has them battle-tested on the one hand, knowing that, a lot of the games that they played have been tight.
No, absolutely. And Coach Willie Howard's done such a great job here at Cooper. They are perennial one of the best teams in 5A, and they have a lot of talent. And the good news for Cooper fans are a lot of them are underclassmen. They're going to have a lot of this talent back, especially at their skill positions coming back for next year. So you use this year as it is what it is. It's terrible for the seniors that have to go through this, but you're also still building for that next year.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's contest, starting with the visiting Lakers, and not a whole lot of doubt about who we were going to pick out to talk about for them. Nick Flaskamp is having a tremendous season. You see the offensive numbers there, over 1,100 yards in just 6 games. Very physical runner, but also has led the state in tackles a couple of years in a row. This is just a tough, hard-nosed, kind of old-school football player for them.
Well, and you look at his averages, about 190 yards per game rushing, 7.6 per average. Anytime you get that as an average, you're a heck of a running back. And you and I were talking before we came on air, you love seeing kind of these smaller programs where kids are dominant on both sides of the football. He is equally as impressive as a linebacker, so I'm really excited to see him. He's a big, strong kid, but he's got speed as well. And interesting to see if Cooper is able to slow him down.
And for the Hawks, I feel like their receiving game's going to need to go well tonight, and their leading receiver this season as a junior has been Dante Williams.
Yep, you can see 27 catches in only 6 games, so he's averaging more than 4 per game. You see only 2 touchdowns, but he has the speed, he's got great hands, and Cooper's got a very, very good quarterback too, and Joseph Russell to get him the football. So having that big play threat like that, he is exciting to watch.
Well, these teams met in the semifinal round a year ago, with Cooper winning it by a score of 21-13. This one will be the last game, regardless, for both of these teams as you look at Coach Howard. A great night for football here. It's not the warmest night ever, but for mid-November, you can't complain at all. The wind isn't too bad, and temperature right around 30 as we get set for this 5 p.m. kickoff. We will take a timeout. It is Southwest and Cooper, the last football game of the season here, coming up on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Cooper. A cool but relatively wind-free evening here for this last game as the Hawks get set to face the Southwest Lakers. And joining us on the sideline this evening is Allie Mosley. Let's go to Allie.
Hey guys, tonight is just different. This is the first time really any of these players have ever entered a game knowing this is it. Usually this type of situation is reserved for a state championship type situation. And this game, it just may as well be. Coach Zoha of Southwest said, you know what, this is just something we've never experienced before, but it's kind of given us some nice closure. We've had our best practice of the year yesterday, and we just really feel ready to come into this game with a championship mindset. And for Coach Howard over at Cooper, he told me the communication to his team all week has been go out there, and this is the last game, so you need to play for your brother. Do not go out there playing for yourself. There are kids on this team who this is it for the rest of their football career. This is the very last game, and they know it. So tonight, play for your brother. But guys, I think a Southwest senior said it best on the bus ride over. He said, let's go out there tonight, let's kick their butt, and we'll cry after the game. Guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks for cleaning up what he said, I think, too, there a little bit, as Coach relayed that to us. Cooper won the toss, but they have deferred, and so they will get the ball in the second half, and Southwest will get the first possession of the game here as getting set to kick off here for Cooper is Leonardo Garcia-Puek, the sophomore kicker. Back deep, Jaden Reed, number 3, and Nick Flaskamp, number 7, for the Lakers as they put their top two weapons back receiving kicks, as you might expect. Flaskamp fielding it on the 15, and he will be out over the 30 and then brought down there, and Southwest will have decent field position to begin the contest here tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we watch this game unfold. Jay, is can that Cooper defensive front seven, those front four especially, can they control the line of scrimmage? They always have great size and physicality, but when you're playing a really, really good running back, and you mentioned a couple tackles out tonight due to COVID, so kind of a makeshift offensive line as well, but they got a quarterback who can throw as well. Let's see if they can find some balance.
Yeah, Preston Engen's been a basketball kid who hadn't played football since 7th grade and came back out and won the job this year. Toss left here. And that one is hemmed in well. Oh, good leg strength by Flaskamp to keep things going. Looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss. He will end up with a short gain of just a couple, but it looked like they had him all wrapped up early.
Well, and you don't average 7.6 yards per carry without yards after contact. And to your point, Jay, it looked like he was dead to rights there at the line of scrimmage, but he's got those big, strong, powerful legs, and he kept him moving, able to make something positive there on first down.
Cooper's faced a couple of backs this year that you kind of knew were going to get the football, and they had some trouble stopping. I was here for the Holy Angels game, and pretty much every play in the second half was to the same guy, and they just couldn't stop him. This snap dribbled down a little bit, looking to throw. The pass is Reed. He's going to go downfield with it, and that one's over everyone's head. And Willie Howard, right before the game, told us, we know they're going to have some trickery, and we're ready for it. And we see it on the second play from scrimmage as the receiver Reed coming around to throw it.
Well, great coverage down the field, and I think the whole timing of that play with the low snap there kind of threw it off. But excellent job just getting to the outside there. That was Jaden Reed able to at least get the throw off without taking a loss.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 7 now for the Lakers. First possession of the game. Low snap again. Engen comes up with it, and his throw out into the flat is incomplete. I guess Marcus Maddox was closest to it. I think that, again, the snap being low like that kind of made him hurry things up a little bit. So a nice defensive set for Cooper to begin the game.
Yeah, and Engen's got you could see he kind of felt pressured there, and there wasn't any pressure. That's where you want your quarterback, especially on 3rd and long. You got to be able to stand in the pocket, let those receivers get down the field, let the routes develop, give them a chance to make a play.
Ramsey Akondo is the punter and kicker, and also Mr. Soccer winner this year. And Khalil Borden waiting back deep here for Cooper. Good snap. He gets a little run and drives a good kick. Borden will take it on the 33. Pretty good lane discipline for the Lakers, and then a big collision as he's out to about the 42. So a good kick, but Borden will get a return of about 8 or 9, and Cooper gets good field position as Joe Russell comes out to lead their offense. 2nd year as a starter. He's a junior, and he is a good one. Coach Howard said he's primed for a big game tonight. I look for big things from Joe.
Well, just watching him in pregame warm-up, he's got a strong arm. And the other thing that really stands out, Jay, he's really accurate, too. He's 65% accuracy and not throwing just quick throws. He does throw down the field as well. So very accurate and quick and electric, too.
Got a small but very shifty running back, too, in Camden Royal. So going to go to Royal on the first down handoff, looking to bounce it to the outside, and Royal making another cut, and then is dragged down at about the 48-yard line as he's chased down there by Charlie Boucher of Southwest.
Yeah, Royal having a big year as well. Lots of yards on the ground, 516 yards, 7 touchdowns. That time blocked extremely well. He was, I think, almost a little too patient on that. If he would have hit that north and south a little bit harder, could have maybe picked up quite a few more yards. But as it was, good first down gain.
Got about 5 on the play, so 2nd and 5 here for Cooper. Russell going to hand it off to Royal again, and he'll be wrapped up just shy of midfield as bear hugged there by Kwan Garner. And it will bring up a 3rd down here for the Hawks.
Well, and what makes every passing game so much more effective, Jay, when you can run the football. And so Cooper, I think, having that balance, setting up play action, really opens up Dante Williams down the field, opens up Joseph Russell to have those passing lanes.
3rd and 3 at their 49 for Cooper on their first possession of the game after getting a 3-and-out defensively. Russell's going to turn and hand it off again to Royal, and Royal reaching toward those sticks, and it looks like he might be just short. Well, we'll see. Maybe not.
Oh, he got it.
It will indeed be a first down as he got just enough.
Yeah, watch this cut right there, popping it outside and then turning it up the field. Good tackle, but you can see that ball definitely across that first down marker.
Reed on the stop for Southwest, but a new set of downs for the Hawks at the 48.
You can see Tellis Redmond there, the running backs coach for Cooper, one of my teammates at the University of Minnesota, so former Golden Gopher running back. Doing an excellent job with these backs here at Cooper the last few years.
They've got a good staff beyond just Coach Howard, obviously, too. Tony Patterson, their offensive coordinator, has been around with Coach Howard for a long time here, too, and as well as some of the others. Russell throwing out. It's complete. Here is Williams down the sideline, trying to get a block there, and he'll be brought down inside the 25.
Yep, there's that play action. You get the defense to suck in, and a quick, easy throw to Williams. And excellent blocking, too, down the field by David Connors. Look at the block there, freeing him up for another 10 or 15 yards. So a nice, easy throw to get your quarterback some good momentum, and it turns into a big play.
Cooper football at the Lakers 24 now. 1st and 10. Handoff going now. Spinning his way down is Matthews. Terrence Matthews gets a fair amount of time backing up Camden Royal, and it looks like it'll be another first down as he picks up just enough.
Cooper right back on the line. I think they're sensing we got the momentum here. Let's not give them any chance to regroup. Let's keep at it.
Spotted on the 13, first down here for the Hawks. Russell looked left. Now he's throwing out right for Connors. Did he get his feet down? Yes. Touchdown, Hawks.
Wow. Well, I love the play design, the play call. Everything looked like it was going to the left, and they left Connors over on the right, and it was just a jump ball. And I don't know how he was able to get his feet down. You can see almost a little push-off right there. But what a job. What a tightrope act there down the sideline. Excellent concentration. Great opening drive here for the Cooper Hawks.
Boy, you couldn't have drawn things up much better. You get a 3 and out, and you drive down the field nicely. A couple nice runs, some nice throws. Russell going 2 for 2, including the touchdown.
Yep, and that's, quarterbacks out there, if you're throwing that kind of a pass, he put it only where his guy could make that catch. And that's what you want to do, throw it high and outside, let your athletes go up and make a great play. And David Connors certainly did that. Not only hauling it in, but the wherewithal of knowing where you're at to get those feet down too. That was beautiful.
So they went for the kick on the extra point and did not convert, as Garcia Puek's kick going wide to the left on a low liner. So it stays at 6-0 Cooper. Good start for the Hawks, and they'll look to try and keep it going here as Southwest will get its second opportunity with the football. Last time they did kick it to Flaskamp on a hop. You kind of forget about, teams that haven't played each other as much.
And this is where you always got to be careful of, Coach Howard's, he's tricky. You always got to watch that little dribbler, that little onside kick. Especially when you got the momentum, but they're going to boot it off here.
This will be Maddox taking it at about the 13 and makes a cut, and a nice stop on the return game there for the Hawks. So Southwest will start with the football at the 36-yard line here. First down for the Lakers.
Yeah, good field position here. Minneapolis Southwest, I think it's really vital here. They don't necessarily need to score, but they need to sustain a little bit of a drive. Cooper, as big and physical as they are, especially on offense, you want to be able to let your defense rest a little bit here, if nothing else.
Couple of low snaps on that first possession here for Southwest. Hanging, looking to throw deep downfield, and he had a man, but overshot him as he was looking deep for Reed.
Yeah, so far in the couple of pass attempts for the Lakers, they've had excellent pass protection. They've protected their quarterback well. Engen that time stood in it, and that's one of those throws where you got to get a little bit more elevation on it. Let your receiver have a chance to make that catch.
There's Josh Zoha, 11th season as head coach with Southwest and 14th year in their program overall, and they're feeling good. They've won their district or sub-district the last 2 years, the first time ever in school history. Obviously, they're not playing this quote-unquote city conference like they were for so many years.
Look at that pile! Wow!
This rugby scrum keeps going all the way out to midfield there for the Lakers, so they will get their first down of the game. It's Flaskamp, but also their O-line.
Yeah.
Really keeps it pushing.
Well, and you talked just about Flaskamp. I mean, he's 5'10", 205 pounds. So he's not this huge back, but he's got that low center of gravity. And there's a great job by our camera guys there. Take a look at his legs. I mean, just built strong legs too. And when you tackle him, you better be ready to go, or otherwise he's going to carry you like he did there for another 5 to 10 yards.
Got to the 49 of Cooper. A little counter action this time to Flaskamp, and another nice gain. Big Jackson Howard, the sophomore, able to ride him down. That's one guy on the defense that is not scared to try and tackle anybody, as Big Jackson Howard, the coach's son, going about 225, 6'5", one of the highest recruited players in his class in the whole country.
Well, and you're going to see why, too. He's all over the place. He's got great athleticism, good strength. There's a good look at him.
He's a good football player already. He's going to be a great one by the time he's done.
Well, they went with the hard count there, trying to pick up 5 yards. I think it is going to work. That's going to be encroachment.
So first penalty of the game, 5 yards marked off against the Hawks. And that'll give Southwest a first down at the 38-yard line of Cooper now as they try and answer the Hawks touchdown that they put up on the board. 6-0 Cooper. One possession, one score for the Hawks. Southwest now with its second possession, and they have a little march going. Engen looking to throw. Deep down the left side and just off Reed's hand. Cooper's had to play short-handed some in the secondary. They're back to having mostly the lineup that they would, hope to have and expect to have now. And Reed is, in addition to Flaskamp, Coach mentioned Reed right away as a guy that's going to be a vital factor in their cause tonight here. And they've already, looked for him. He threw one pass on a reverse already.
Yeah, well defended, too, by Cooper. I mean, their defensive backs doing a nice job of not letting anyone get over the top or behind them.
Toss out to Flaskamp with a lead blocker out front. Cuts inside of a tackler there, and let's see where he stepped out of bounds as he was working his way up the sideline. Got an injured player, looks like, over there, too, for it'll be a pickup of 7.
Yeah, it just looked like there was nowhere to go. It was really strung out nicely by Cooper's defense at time, but he was patient. Flaskamp was and able to get up the sideline for a good 7-8 yards.
I think it's Andre Reese who was over there on his stomach for Cooper, right around where that tackle occurred, or shoved out of bounds anyway, as there was a lot of traffic. So it'll be 3rd and short here for Southwest after that gainer by Flaskamp, but first they've got to make sure that Andre Reed's going to be all right, or Andre Reese is going to be all right.
Andre Reed, also a very good player for the Buffalo Bills.
That's what popped into my head there.
You see him grabbing, it looks like on his left kind of ankle calf area.
Take a quick time out here while they tend to Andre Reese, looking at that lower left leg. We'll be right back here with more football. Cooper leading Southwest 6-0 here in the first quarter. And welcome back, and obviously Andre not putting any pressure at all on that left leg as the coaches bring him off, so not necessarily a good thing to see, obviously, and probably, hopefully he's not going to be too seriously injured, but I would guess by that look, probably not going to see him back in the game anytime soon.
You hate seeing that, especially when it might be a knee issue for young kids, so we certainly wish Andre the best there, and hopefully it's nothing serious.
3rd and a couple for Southwest, right at the 30 of Cooper. We'll see how that delay affects both these teams. Flaskamp taking the handoff. powering into a tackler, and he'll have the first down with ease there down inside the 25.
Well, even that run, I mean, there was nothing there. You see him hurdling a defender, and you love those kind of backs that you know aren't going to go down on first contact. If you need 2 yards, 3 yards, they're going to get it for you every single time, even if there's not a hole there. So big-time physical run there to pick up the first down.
Spotted on the 25 now, first down for the Lakers. Flaskamp taking the handoff again and keeps on rolling. Adam Wadkey bringing him down, but another nice gainer for the Lakers.
Yep, they keep winning first down on this drive. That's been the key. They're getting 6 to 8 yards on first down. And I'll tell you what Cooper's going to start doing, Jay, is they're going to really start collapsing that front seven there. And this is where if you don't necessarily need to take a deep shot down the field, but a little play action, I bet you can get something across the middle, something conservative, but at least keep that defense honest.
From the 18, Engen looking to throw. Now going to loft it up into traffic and a flag down. There were 3 defenders all around the intended target, Boucher. And kind of a break maybe for Southwest, because there was no way he was going to be able to get to that ball and catch it. But if it's interference, it's interference.
And again, Cooper really well defended down the field. They didn't fool anyone there. And Engen just kind of throwing it up and hoping that Boucher can make a play, and you get a little contact. And remember, too, it's not at the spot of the foul in high school football.
Officials are conferring. I wonder if there's some possibility that the flag thrower is going to be talked out of this.
No, did not get talked out of it. Here's a look at it. That looked like pretty clean football there. Both guys going for the ball. But because of the pass interference, it is going to give them a first down. First and goal at the 9.
So Southwest, first down goal to go here as they look to battle back and tie this one up or take the lead. Handoff to Flaskamp, and he is met, and he is dropped early as Nico easily shooting through pretty well unblocked.
He easily shot in there.
Yeah.
Look at him come right through there. Great job. Right up the middle, following his offensive lineman who was pulling that time, and he went right to Flaskamp and got him before he could get those legs moving.
Yeah, and that's the way to go against a real physical runner. If you can get to him before he's really got a head of steam coming toward you. So second and goal all the way back at the 15, a loss of 6. And that is big, not just to get a stop, but to push them back. It certainly, I would think, affects the possible play calls the rest of this drive here. Engen looking to throw. And it is intercepted, I believe. Yes. Great hands and a great read on that one by Chris Blava for Cooper as they tried to go up top to Reed.
What a great catch, too. And I'll tell you what he did that was great, Jay. He got his head around and saw the ball. So often, especially at the high school level, defensive backs never turn their heads around. That ball was in the air. He's running with him. Look at him get his head around. And then to come back with the one hand, too. What a great play. He gets the turnover chain on, too, and he's going to wear that proudly. You couldn't have defended it any better. Excellent play.
Yeah, even if he had just knocked that down, it would have been a really good play. But to be able to come up with that mostly one-handed catch, that was sweet.
And you could see when he turned his head around, he didn't have a lot of time to adjust. So just great hand-eye coordination to get back and make that play.
First down handoff to Royal will be good for about 5 for the Hawks. So Southwest, a nice drive, but it ends in a turnover on the great interception. And Cooper getting the football back with about 3.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter.
And it's such a game of momentum, Jay. Cooper with a big-time play. Their offense comes out, and it's funny how both offense, defense, special teams just feeds off each other.
And Russell is going to be dropped. I think he intended to hand that off. It didn't really look smooth in the backfield, and it appeared as though he was wanting to have made the handoff here, and it didn't quite work out.
Nice job by Derek Lind, unblocked. He got a great jump off the ball there. And you could tell he stayed home, and he had Joseph Russell's. As soon as he did not hand it off, he was done. So a big-time play there by Lind.
Make it a 3rd and 6 coming up now for the Hawks. 2:45 to go and counting here in the opening quarter. Jay Wilcox, Ryan Iverson, and Allie Mosley here with you from Barbara A. Lehman Stadium last night of the 2020 football season. Russell rolling to the right. Now floats the pass complete as he has Williams down the sideline. And that'll be enough for the Cooper first down with ease.
Well, you said it, with ease. Great play design, rolled out, and I'll tell you that's a sign of a great quarterback. Watch Russell, once he knows that he's open, look at the touch on it. He didn't try to fire it in there, put great touch on it, easy route, easy catch and throw, and ends up going for a big gain.
25-yard pickup out to the 49-yard line. So Cooper kind of, I don't want to say having their way, but I mean doing the things they want to do offensively, mixing in some nice runs by Royal with some nice throws, and they've generally had successful plays on most of their offensive snaps.
Well, they have such good athletes, too, at all the skill positions, so they don't have to take huge shots down the field.
This time Russell rolling left. Steps up to avoid the rush, now cutting it back the other way. Thought about throwing, and then he is brought down from behind. Good pursuit there by Boucher for Southwest. As Russell is quick, but Boucher stayed with him. Actually be right about back to the line of scrimmage, so not technically going to be a sack, I don't think, but
I thought right there at that point, that's where you get rid of it. You throw it out of bounds once you're outside of the pocket like that, but you can't fault him for trying to make a play, but an excellent job by Boucher there to stay home and get that tackle.
So 2nd down and 10 upcoming here for Cooper.
You know, Cooper, I think that time was looking at taking a shot down the field, so well defended again in that secondary for the Lakers.
Russell getting rid of it here out into the flat to Royal. Royal down the sideline will go out of bounds, but it should be enough for a first down to around the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you what's been impressive to me so far is Russell, and you hear this term a lot, and you don't necessarily know what it means, but great poise and pocket presence as a quarterback. That time, looking down the field, a lot of high school quarterbacks, they only look at their first read and they throw it. Even if the guy's not there, you could tell he looked down the field, it wasn't there. He allowed that play for Royal to get out in the flat. Nice, easy throw. It was a smart play, and it ends up going again for a pretty good gain.
I remember even last year coming into the season asking Coach Howard, you know, how are you feeling and how is the team feeling about having a sophomore start, you know, the very first game, and he said, all the confidence in the world in him, and that was a year ago. So, you know, he's played a lot of varsity football since. Oh, ball juggled by Royal, but he's able to come up with it and then shoved out of bounds as they had the little counter-action look and nearly resulted in that ball coming all the way free.
Yeah, there was penetration in that backfield at the time of handoff. Again, there's Lind. He's going right at Russell, but nice job hanging on to the football, making a couple guys miss, and still end up getting pretty positive yards there on first down.
Royal will get 4 as you get another look. Yeah, the blitzer nearly got there just as that handoff was being made. So 2nd down and 6 now for Russell and crew. Russell looking deep downfield, and he's got his man Williams, breaks a tackle, and he's in for the score.
I think we picked the right guy for a player to watch today. Dante Williams right down the seam there, and a beautiful throw by Joseph Russell. That time he had great pocket awareness. He had a nice job, had patience, well blocked, and he threw a dart right down the middle of the field. So we've seen a couple of touch throws there. We got to see him drive it in that strong arm and put it right on the money.
So Connors hauling in a TD pass earlier. This time it's Williams. Joe Russell on target here tonight, and Cooper leading at 12-0. They are going to attempt to kick again here. after missing the first one. I thought maybe they'd go for two, but you want to get a little confidence going in your kicker there a little bit too, and it's banged through this time. And so it becomes 13-0 Hawks.
See, no pressure. Great job by that offensive line blocking, and I'll tell you what, that's not an easy throw because you're getting it beyond the linebackers, but you don't want that ball to hang in the air. That ball's on a rope. And great throw.
Nice play design too, because Reed was kind of stuck and having to make a decision. You could see he was trying to shade to the outside a little bit too, but then coming right up the seam there was Williams.
It looked like they ran 4 verticals straight up the field, and what you do is you spread out those safeties, and they have to choose. And Russell, again, for a high school quarterback, he's not staring his receiver down. He's seeing the whole field, and so when he goes to plant, that safety really doesn't have much of a chance to make a play on the ball.
And you see they pose with the title belt there. Having a little fun tonight too. Williams and Russell hooking up again, as Williams already has 3 catches here tonight.
And they've all gone for pretty good yards. I know that. And the first 2 were short passes that he had quite a bit of yards after the catch. But I'm guessing he's got to be close to about 70 yards.
85 unofficially on my count there. 3 for 85.
And that's what great offenses do, Jay. They don't necessarily, great quarterbacks, they get the ball to their playmakers, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a long throw. You just want to get your guys, your best playmakers, a chance to make plays, and Dante Williams has certainly done that here tonight.
I think it really helps Cooper, too, to have a receiving core that has more than one person you have to worry about. I mean, obviously you got both Williams and Connors, but they've got others that, B.J. Powell is out injured now, was another factor at receiver, and you got the great tight end and Howard available as a pass catcher over the middle, and that helps Russell's cause as well.
Hard to defend when you got that many weapons.
Maddox on the return here for Southwest. Got a pretty nice block, and he's out over the 40 and wrapped up there, and Southwest get the football back here, trailing it now 13-0, and a little bit of jawing back and forth after that tackle that time. Let's go down now to Allie.
Guys, I'll be honest, this is weirdly quiet down here. No fans, no cheerleaders, no band. And I was sitting here thinking about the parents who are at home watching this game, watching their kids play their final game in their senior year. And suddenly I heard something behind me. And back on the 20-yard line here up on the hill, we've got about 10 fans who brought some chairs, and they're behind the fence. They are cheering. They're here supporting the team. And I think that's pretty great to show up when, you adapt. You adapt to the situations. These guys are still showing up for their team, which is pretty great.
Flaskamp on the carry, and one of Cooper's best players these last couple of years, Raheem Akindele, coming up to stick him right there. The strong defensive lineman also starting on the offensive line, and that'll be a loss of a couple on the play there.
Well, you get the feeling Cooper is going to say, you know what, we are not going to let Nick Flaskamp beat us. We're going to stop the run. We're going to make you try to beat us throwing the football down the field. We have confidence in our defensive backs.
2nd and 12 now. Engen will turn and toss it left to Flaskamp. Able to cut up inside the containment there. And let's see where they'll spot this as he is into Cooper territory at about the 46.
He just makes something happen, doesn't he? I mean, it just doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on out there. Not a lot of seams, but he just turns it upfield and keeps that pile moving and moving. Very impressive running back.
I think he heard you when you said that Cooper was, aiming to stuff him there and keep him.
He said, take that, broadcaster.
That's going to be the last play of the first quarter, so we tick down to zeros here at Cooper, and our score after one, it's Cooper 13, Southwest 0. Second quarter is up next here on CCX. Welcome back. Dante Williams playing a big role early on here for Cooper. 1 touchdown catch and 3 receptions already for him, as Cooper pretty strong first quarter play here, 13-0. I like the way they played so poised offensively too. I mean, it just looks like they knew their game plan coming in. They knew some of the options and what they wanted to do, and they've mostly done them.
Yep, they've been efficient too. I mean, every play they've called and dialed up, haven't had too many negative plays.
Flaskamp pursued. He got by the first wave and keeps on going. That is actually one of the better short loss runs that you might see, as it looked like he was going to be dropped for a big loss.
And he should have been. And you just love the tenacity of the kid and that don't quit on any run like that. Most guys, that's an 8 to 10 yard loss. Instead, just fights and able to get back to close to at least the line of scrimmage.
Call it a loss of 1 on the play there. So second down. One thing you have to be careful of a defense is not getting so excited that you all overrun it, because it looked like for a moment that might happen there. Another low snap. Engen throwing deep again, looking for Reed. Ooh, look out into the camera goes Khalil Borden. And looks like he's all right and knocked that one away. Well, they've had trouble throwing it so far. Engen 0 for 5 with 1 interception.
And one thing too is, do you notice that everything is way down the field, right? It's a big, shot down the field. If I'm the Lakers here, I'm trying to do something quick, a quick throw, where you can at least get some balance in your offense so they can't key in on Flaskamp, but also those 40-yard throws down the field right now are being really well covered. So try something intermediate out in the flat. Make it easy on your quarterback.
It's obvious they have a lot of confidence in Reed. They've been looking his way a lot, but Cooper seems to know that too, and they've had him pretty well blanketed on most of those plays. 3rd and 11 now. Engen looking, completing to Maddox. He's driven out of bounds there by Borden.
Pass complete to number 1.
That was a great play call, great play design. It wasn't, a 30, 40-yard bomb down the sideline, a nice 15-yard throw, and he put it right on the money. And Maddox, knowing where that first down marker was, did a great job at getting the depth and able to get past the first down. So big 3rd down conversion here. Because if you're Southwest and you want to score on this drive, you want to try to keep it to a 1 or 2 score game.
It was just enough for a first down there for the Lakers, and that snap low again. Handoff going to Flaskamp, and he is dragged down from behind. Strong hands wrapping around his jersey there.
1 yard gain on the play.
Hanging on for dear life there for the Hawks was Easley.
2nd and 8 Lakers.
That was a great tackle. If he doesn't hang on there, Flaskamp might have been able to take it all the way, because there was a lot of green in front of him. But that throw, if they can mix a couple throws like the one they just did on 3rd down, I think that kind of balance is going to really help their offense.
Isn't it like if you don't work in a certain time?
2nd and 8 here for Southwest. They had that good drive going before until Engen threw the interception in the end zone on the great catch by Blava for Cooper. Engen looking deep downfield, wants Reed again. And pretty well defended once again as he went up for it down the sideline.
So here's the thing, it's very well defended, and there's also that sideline right there, so it makes it easier for a defensive back because you're not in the middle of that field. I'd like to see the Lakers try to get something in the middle of the field where he's got a couple of different looks to go to. These deep throws are being very well defended by Cooper.
Borden got a little physical there. I wouldn't have been terribly surprised to see them reach for the flag that time, but it didn't happen. Back to Flaskamp, trying to fight his way through, but it's not going to happen. They'll be facing a 4th and fairly long, but in a spot on the field where I think they'll certainly not hesitate to go for it.
Yeah, nice tackle by Elvin North, too, the middle linebacker. You could see that time Flaskamp ran with a little bit of angriness to him there and wanted to pick up. As soon as he turned it up, though, he was met. Nice job tackling it. He's still 4th and 6, but to your point, it's something you got to go for here at this point of the field. You know, you wonder too if you can get Flaskamp involved in the passing game coming out of the backfield.
Engen looking to throw, now getting rid of it down the side, and nice adjustment to come back to it. As Maddox reaching back and able to come up with it. So this is the one time where underthrowing it a little bit was actually a good thing.
Yeah, he didn't get able to plant there. You can see a little bit of an extension with both of those arms, but I don't think it mattered enough. And a nice job adjusting to that ball and coming back to it. So 4th and 6. They converted a 3rd and 8 earlier in this drive. That time a 4th and 6. Big time catch. Able to get keep this drive going.
1st and goal to go from the 4 now for the Lakers. Flaskamp is cut down as Akindele up high and then Submarine down low, and they'll stop him about a loss of a yard or so, maybe 2.
I'll tell you what else is going to be there. If Preston Engen, the quarterback, if he keeps that, because right now you're seeing Cooper's flying, and rightfully so, at Flaskamp. If they decide to do a quarterback keep on that, it's going to be wide open to the outside. See if they look at doing that.
Got a Wildcat look here. Direct snap to Flaskamp. Keeps the legs moving, and he will get in for the touchdown.
What an effort.
He ran into a wall there, but it didn't seem to matter. He just kept bouncing off, and he will get in for the score.
Oh, he's got some speed, too. A little bit of burst there when he turns it north and south. Great cutback. And I thought he was tackled there, and all of a sudden he got that second burst, kept those legs chirping, and got into the end zone. This is a big, big drive here by Minneapolis Southwest, and a great finish by that young man.
So extra point try coming here for Southwest as Landon Ramos coming on to kick it, and he booms it through. So with 8:04 to go here in the second, it is 13-7 now in favor of Cooper.
Well, not only do you obviously get the points on the board, as we take a look at that Wildcat, you can see how many blockers, but right there, look at how many Cooper jerseys are there, and he just kept those legs going and fought to the left. You're going to see that effort right there. Look at those legs going, and he keeps them fighting into the end zone. Obviously, you need the points, but how about, I mean, 2 really big passes on that play to keep the drive going on the 3rd and 8, and then on the 4th and 6, both by Marcus Maddox, who did a great job adjusting to the flight of that ball to make that catch.
So Cooper, for kind of the first time, having something maybe not go quite their way here tonight, and we'll see how they respond to that. As I mentioned earlier, though, they've been in an awful lot of close games where, you know, a couple where they tried to come from behind, a couple where they had the lead and lost the lead. So it's, it's been a season where they've been tested for sure, and obviously tested by COVID as much as anything for both of these programs. Okondo kicking off here for Southwest. Able to drop it down to about the 5-yard line here where Borden will bring it back. He is hit, and then he is hit really hard the second time.
Derek Lynn, big 66, who's made his presence known on defense, that time on special teams. Great coverage down the field.
So Cooper will get it at about the 20, which is actually not about the worst field position either team has had here so far.
Well, so far just the play calling and execution for the Hawks offensively has been very fluid and smooth. Let's see if there's some adjustment here the Lakers can make. Stopping the run, maybe trying to get some pressure. Do you bring some blitz from the outside and try to get Joseph Russell out of the rhythm that he's in already?
Russell handing off there, and not a whole lot off the left side that time for Royal. Pickup of maybe 3.
Yeah, Boucher did a nice job, number 8, coming off of that left side of the line of scrimmage and just running him down.
They'll call it 2nd and 8, so 2-yard gain as Russell has all day to throw. Now floating it out to Royal in the flat. Makes a nice move, but the pursuit will get to him. So it ends up being only about a 3-yard gain. Really pretty well defended by Southwest.
Well, it's a tough route to defend, and what they're doing, they have double twins, so 4 wide receivers. They're all running deep, straight down the field. So you get a lot of your safeties, your cornerbacks are all down the field, and then they get Royal flaring out of the backfield. And you got to have good linebackers. You got to be able to pursuit of the ball. So very creative play calling, but also well defended there. That play could have gone for a lot more. So nice job by these linebackers flowing to the ball, making a tackle.
Got a little more than I thought. They'll call it a 5-yard gain. So 3rd and 3 coming up here for Cooper. As we approach the halfway point here of this second quarter. Russell faking the handoff, rolling left, now floats the pass. Here's Williams on the grab, and he is banged out of bounds after crossing the 40. There's a penalty on the play as well against Southwest, it would appear.
Helmet to helmet, I'm guessing, or tackling with your helmet. But what a great throw. I mean, you're sprinting out to your left as a right-handed quarterback, and just excellent touch on the ball by Russell. And I'm really impressed with his accuracy, especially throwing off the run.
So it'll be a personal foul against Southwest. See if we can see what.
Oh, I don't know. He turned his head. I mean, that looked like it was shoulder, unless they thought he tackled too high and went for the head. But that, you hate when you don't get an explanation, too, as a coach and as a player, because you're trying to learn and teach and be safe. But that was a tough one. That looked like just a pretty good hit. Definitely didn't lead with his head either.
Hand off to Royal, trying to get around the edge. Boucher got a piece of him and then driven into the Cooper bench around the 40 or so.
Tell you, Royal's a slippery running back as well. He does not go down at first contact either. He's got nice footwork and able to, Boucher looked like he had him in the backfield and not much there, but able to get some positive yards.
Pickup of 3 for Camden Royal here. Cooper up 13-7, trying to get a march going here as they're into Southwest territory about midway through this second quarter. Russell fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself. Slipped out of a tackle and works his way up the sideline, and then a big collision as he tried to stretch that ball out. Going to be a little short of the first down, it would appear. There is a flag on the play.
And that play's been there for Cooper, and that play is also there for Southwest. Now you're going to get holding. That's going to be coming back. But, yeah, Russell that time knew he was going to keep it a little bit quicker fake and able to get to that outside, but it's going to be coming back. But even though it's coming back, Jay, you're given another dimension, another look to this defense. It makes it even that much harder to know what's coming. You just have good diversity, good balance here on this Cooper offense.
So they'll be pushed back into their own territory at about the 47-yard line after that penalty.
Second down Hawks from their own 47-yard line.
Penalties, they're going to move it forward a little bit to the 49 now. Those kind of things can be drive killers, but the fact that they're able to spread the ball out and throw a little bit and stuff, they're probably won't hurt them quite as much as a team that just strictly runs between the tackles. Russell will give it to Royal. Good push up front. And that's a nice play call in that spot. I think, Southwest probably thinking pass, and instead they come back strong and will pick up about a dozen on the run.
Yeah, great job by the big guys up front getting a good push, but just a nice job by Royal. He avoided a couple of tacklers, too, right at the line of scrimmage and about 2 yards in. So he's doing a nice job with his footwork as well. And you get a big chunk of that back. Now you set up a third and very manageable.
Russell looking left. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Wraps the ball up tight. I think he's going to be short of the first down. He will be inside the 35 at about the 34.
It was the first time tonight that either quarterback really under pressure. He didn't have a whole lot of time to sit back there and survey the field, and that's one of the things Southwest is going to have to do is get pressure on Russell. He's just too dangerous back there when he's got the time. He's so accurate. By that time, he made another smart, quick decision, tucks the ball, able to get positive yards, and now you set up, obviously, a fourth and very, very manageable.
Fourth and a short 2 here for the Hawks. Russell coming up under center, and they've got a fullback in there as well. And they will go fullback.
Whoa.
It was well defended.
I think that the push the push got him.
The whistle did not sound as they allowed the play to continue, and Aiden Davidson, powering his way forward, is going to have enough for the first down.
Oh, interesting. He kept waiting for the whistle to blow to see if they marked it, and they kept going, and it became a little rugby scrum, and that time the Cooper Hawks lineman got involved, and then you'll see a stalemate right here. Not a whole lot of it. Looked like they had him stop, and then you see all the Cooper Hawks coming in behind, giving them the push, and clearly enough for a first down.
Yeah, I think where they first made contact with him, it probably would not have been a first down.
Yep. I'm sure Minneapolis Southwest is saying, why didn't we get that whistle blown right there? But play continued, and Cooper did the right thing. They got behind him, and you pick up the big first down.
Russell looking to throw deep down the sideline, jump ball, and well defended by Reed as he stayed right with David Connors. And Reed good on the offensive side, and that time showing his skill on the defensive side for the Lakers.
Yep, again, really well defended. I like the call here, taking a shot to a very good athletic receiver, but well covered, and Reed, great position there, almost came away with an interception.
I think he landed pretty hard there. Didn't really get a chance to brace his fall much and got up a little slow, but looks like he's going to be all right. 2nd and 10 now for the Hawks. Back to the ground game. Royal makes a nice little move there. Now chased out wide, though, and Flaskamp closes in a hurry to bring him down.
Heck of a job by Royal there to make a couple guys miss, but when that guy's coming at you, Flaskamp, he's got the speed and he's a sure tackler. You mentioned well over 90 tackles on the year, and he gets his hands on you. You're not going to get out of it too often.
Royal, I think, at times is maybe a little overconfident in his speed to be able to get around. He's looking to break it to the outside all the time, and a lot of times it works, but sometimes I think, just getting up,
get the 4 extra yards, and not every play has to be a home run. Absolutely.
Right. 3rd and 7 now. Russell has time now, throwing, looking for Howard, and he's got it. Jackson Howard trying to fight toward the end zone. Oh my, he is close. Going to be marked just short, but a big play by the big sophomore.
Well, it all starts with great protection, and Russell that time able to stand back there, no protection or no pass rush at all. Look at the time this play's developed. Looks the receiver off. He finds Howard. Great job using his body. Look at him hang on to this, and then just trying to fight to get into that end zone.
Maddox trying to bring him down, and then got a little bit of help there from Declan Maida. Just barely got him out of bounds before he reached the end zone. So 1st and goal from the 1. Matthews is in there in the backfield next to Russell.
Watch it to the right side.
Here's Matthews hopping over a tackler, and he is in for the score, I think. Yes. Touchdown, Cooper. So Terrence Matthews finishing after Howard was stopped just short, battling toward the goal line. And Cooper into the end zone for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, Matthews, as soon as he got that ball, he looked like he had to hurdle a defender. So good penetration in that backfield, great athleticism, able to get just enough, literally just an inch or two past that goal line there, but it gets in for the touchdown.
Yeah, the one official that I was watching was kind of late getting there to make that call. Extra point, no good for the Hawks.
Yeah, we'll get a good. Look at that hurdle right there. And
Yeah, clearly in there for.
it almost looked like
Hawks.
he was deeper and then turned sideways a little bit, but yeah. But how about that athleticism to hurdle? That's not easy as you're taking a handoff. You're focused on that. And to have that kind of vision, seeing someone on your ground. That's why you do those high knees, those cone drills as running backs all the time. It's exactly for that purpose right there. And what do you get as a reward? You get to wear the belt after a big touchdown run. He should share that belt with his teammate Howard after making that big catch to get him down there to the 1 yard line.
It's a nice way to keep another. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, you're putting the guy in that you think is going to be effective, but to keep somebody like Matthews involved too, when Royal is going to get the bulk of the touches, to have Matthews have a key role as a short yardage kind of guy, I think is a nice thing too.
And that's what great coaches do. You keep everyone, you make everyone feel a big part of it, and you put them in positions to be successful, and you have multiple guys that can do that.
Physical stop on the kick return there as Southwest will get the football back around the 30. Cooper fired up right now. They go in for the touchdown, then they get a special team stop there as coming up big for Cooper right there was Kevon Kager. I'm sorry.
We might not have any fans, but that Cooper sideline is sure into the game. You can hear they're talking, they're communicating. They're passionate, they're excited, they're fired up. 19 first half points. They're 3 for 3 every time the offense has been on the field tonight. It's resulted in touchdowns.
Feels to me like this could be a relatively key drive for Southwest. I mean, if they go a quick 3 and out, they're not going to go into halftime feeling that good. However, if they are able to drive down, then they'll be right back in it.
Well, and remember, too, Cooper's going to get the ball to start the second half. So you want to try to eliminate a score here. Try to get it back to a one-score game. Otherwise, you risk the momentum really going all the way on Cooper's side.
Timeout taken here by Cooper. Remind you to go to our ccxmedia.org website. Vote for the play of the week. We're going to have to put that on hiatus for a little bit here, as we've got a 4-week pause in sports, and obviously kind of hoping it's not more than 4 weeks as the fall season comes to an end this week with volleyball and football, but obviously basketball and hockey and wrestling and swimming and gymnastics and the others are hoping to, that 4 weeks is all it's going to be, but at this point it's really hard to say.
So here's my idea. I think that we should take all the winners of plays of the week for the last couple of years, put them on there, and then vote for the ultimate play of the week.
So Southwest, 2:31 to go.
All three timeouts.
Yeah, they've got time. They've got about 70 yards they need to get. Here's Reed taking the direct snap. Reed sweeping to the right and pushed out of bounds. And not too much on that gain, a couple maybe for Reed.
Yeah, just a nice job by Cooper that time, just stringing that play out, not allowing anything to the outside. And you use that sideline as another defender. You just keep pushing it out, forcing it out, just nowhere to go for Reed.
They're going to go with Reed at quarterback again here. A little different look. Now it's Flaskamp taking the snap here. Well defended again here by Cooper as
and you wonder,
the stop was easily.
Wondered if Cooper maybe would take a timeout here to see if they can get a stop. I would imagine after this play, if they do stop them, to maybe take a timeout, try to get the ball back for their offense.
A little bit interesting. They've been going with the quote-unquote wildcat look on this this drive with Engen not in there, and he is not in there now either. Southwest taking a timeout with 1:12 to go. I think, like you were talking about, Ryan, this kind of, it gives Cooper a little bit of a break here. If they get a stop, Southwest use that timeout.
Yeah, and if I'm Southwest here, I think about maybe just running the football. If you do a pass and it's incomplete, you stop the clock again with plenty of time for Cooper, especially how fast they've been able to strike here tonight. I try to run the football, try to get that first down. If I don't, I force Cooper into using at least one of their timeouts and then punt it down and hope your special teams gets a good coverage. Try to force Cooper maybe to go the length of the field in just a minute left. But it's a big play, no question about it.
Southwest has gone with more of a run look here on this drive with they got DeAndre Brown in the backfield as a fullback or H-back, and then Reed and Flaskamp. So Engen, the quarterback, not in there on this drive. Snap will come to Reed, and he is going to throw. Reed under some pressure now, takes off. And Reed with good speed breaks through a tackle and keeps on going, and then is popped hard and brought down at about the 38.
Was that not electric or what? I thought he's going to get run down there in the backfield looking to throw the football. And holy buckets, watch him turn it on here. Right there, it looked like he was going to get caught, and then he just exploded right there again. It almost looked like about every member of that Cooper defense had a hand on him. That was a really, really impressive play.
Southwest will use another timeout, a minute to go. Boy, that is a drive changer right there. Reed showing off his speed and athletic ability there.
And maybe a game changer, too, because if they don't get that and they have to punt, you're looking at Cooper with a chance to go get another score. And now you get that big play, and you probably at least force, Cooper that they won't get the ball back to this half. So now you got a shot here to score. Big-time confidence boost. What an athletic play that was. And again, they're coming out on offense without Engen, their quarterback, in the backfield.
I didn't see any indication that he was hurt. I think it's more of a strategy thing. Low snap, Flaskamp taking it. Flaskamp rolling to the right here and works his way up the sideline down to just shy of the 35.
Clock's still running, too, so they got to hurry here with that one timeout left. You wonder, too, are they going to try to throw, or are they going to be content in running out of this Wildcat formation?
Flaskamp trying to burrow forward, wrapped up and brought down at about the 35. And they're going to use their last timeout.
Interesting, too. I didn't think they needed a timeout after that big run that got the first down. Remember, the clock does stop after a first down.
Right.
I think they could have had time to get down there without running too much time. Now you end up using your timeouts here with 27 seconds left. I think you got to take a shot down the field.
Yeah, you can't really count on being able to, with that amount of time, to have been able to just run the ball. I mean, obviously, you don't know how far some of these runs may or may not go. Obviously, Reed broke that big one, but
then you look at doing something like that again where Reed's rolling out. At least he has the option of keeping it and trying to make a play. Looks like he's got a pretty strong arm, too. So this is where, 3rd and 6. You want to pick up that first down, but you also want to get something down the field.
Clock is stopped here with 28 seconds left in the quarter.
So 3rd and 6, but probably more important than that is the fact that there's just 28 seconds to go before halftime here. Southwest needing a big play here. Reed looking to throw. He's going to step up and throw it deep downfield, and Boucher has got it. Touchdown Lakers. Cooper asking for a push-off, but it doesn't look like they're going to get it.
Wow, great touch. Great touch by Reed. He stood in that pocket. as pressure was bearing down on him, and he put great arc, great touch on that football. And Boucher does a nice job. I couldn't tell if those arms were extended at all. He did create a little bit of space there at the end, but what a response. What a critical response on this drive by Minneapolis Southwest.
So they will go for the extra point. Cooper's had a little trouble missing 2 of their 3, and this one is blocked.
Extra point is blocked on the
Oh, that's big.
updated score. Cooper Hawks,
So 19-13 with 20 seconds. You get a look at Reed, the rush coming from the outside, but stood in there strong. No, I don't think it was much of a push-off. The defender just kind of got turned around as, they kind of had to wait for this ball a little bit. I mean, a little hand fighting maybe, but I don't think enough
No, you didn't see that
call.
where it's extended like that, where it created it. That's where, as a defender, you got to just keep everything in front of you. You don't want to time your jump and miss it in a situation like that. If anything, you let them catch it, you make the tackle, you keep the ball in front of you. So good learning experience for Cooper and their secondary. But, again, you got to be pretty impressed with Jaden Reed, who's not their quarterback, coming in and had that big run on 3rd down, and that time great touch down the field and a critical drive, a critical must score for Minneapolis Southwest, and they get it done.
So right before halftime, Cooper would love to pop a nice return here. Otherwise, they're probably not really going to have time to do much else here. And that all important special teams opportunity here. A Kondo to kick off. And he will angle it toward the sideline, but he keeps it on the field. Borden cutting it back all the way across the field. Steps through a tackle and then is just tripped up. Good job getting to him there by Azarius Teague for Southwest, and we get a flag down after the play. Going to be a little extracurricular after the play, and we'll see. Discussion on what exactly, I'm guessing unsportsmanlike, the way it came after the play.
Wake up, Billy.
Two flags. A block in the back call against Cooper.
It'll be half the distance to the goal from that ball. And we've got unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 66 on Southwest. That'll be a dead ball, and that'll be 15 yards from the previous enforcement spot.
So they don't negate each other, huh?
No, because the fact that the second one was after the play was over.
Yeah. So from where the ball was, it goes halfway to the goal line and then the 15 yards on top of that.
So Cooper will be penalized, as we said, for the block in the back, but then the 15 yards coming out. They're still not going to have too great a field position, though. Only 10 seconds to go. I don't think you'd try and do anything terribly risky here.
But how would that? Oh, the block in the back occurred at the 6-yard line, correct? So
it
they move it to the 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is big if you're Southwest. You got to be careful here. We've seen the explosiveness of the Cooper offense and their wide receivers. You got to keep everything in front of you. Got to be sure tacklers.
Russell's going to hand it off up the middle. Camden Royal has some room out to the outside, and he'll get out of bounds with 4 seconds to go. So he'll pick up about 21 and gives him at least a shot to do something more.
Yep. And you practice for these opportunities, these situations too, as an offense. You have certain plays, certain pass routes, maybe a hook and ladder, different things like that. So if you're Minneapolis Southwest, you can't relax yet. You still got 4 seconds. You have to defend one more play here before the end of the half.
They will go up the middle here, and Royal is wrapped up and dropped. And it looks like we will get to zeros on the clock here as the first half comes to an end. And it has been an entertaining one as Cooper will take a 19-13 lead into halftime of tonight's contest. And you know, a lot of exciting plays in this first half, Ryan.
Yeah,
here.
Oh, absolutely. And you think you're Cooper 3 for 3 offensive possessions, not counting that last one there right before the half. So offensively, they've certainly had a great execution, great game plan. And then for Minneapolis Southwest, when it looked like Cooper might really take off in this one, they did a nice job of fighting and clawing and getting back into this game. And ironically enough, done it through the passing game as well. So great job by them not giving up the fight, keeping in this game, and we got a one-score game here going into the second half.
Again, final night of the prep football season here in 2020 after the announcement midweek by Governor Walz that high school sports would have to be put on pause here, so effectively ending the fall season for the volleyball and football teams. And you know, thanks to all the coaches and staffs that have had to really deal with a lot of scrambling. And I know it's been a frustrating, especially these last couple of weeks. We've had so many changes happening because of this program or that program having a COVID situation or a possibility, and everybody wanting to be real cautious. So we've had a lot of changes to deal with, and obviously for, you know, everybody's sake, they've done the best they could. It hasn't always been fun, but it's been something that everybody's just kind of had to learn to deal with.
It's 2020.
Allie's working her way over as Coach Zoha from Southwest making his way across the field to join us.
We're good down there.
And let's go down to Allie.
Coach, we've got a football game right now. It's just a one-score game, but it was kind of hard for you guys to get into an offensive rhythm. What were you seeing in that first half that was making it difficult?
We needed to feel them out for a second. We were really hoping that they started with the ball so our defense could start first. So, you know, it's kind of the way we always come out the entire year. If the first drive is kind of a dud, you wish it wouldn't be. And then the kids, it's almost like the kids need that contact to realize they're not playing Greek gods. They're just playing a bunch of other high school kids. And once that realization comes, they start playing all out.
And what about on the other side of the ball? How do you get Joe Russell out of rhythm with his offense, who continues to keep charging down the field?
Yep, we haven't had anybody throwing us most of the year, so we're not used to this territory. So we'll make some halftime adjustments and we get figured out.
What are you guys going to bring out in the second half to put yourselves on top and get this win?
Well, I'm going to keep running Flash Camp, and then Jaden Reed out there. They're both pretty special players and seniors in our last game, so we'll put them in position to help us win.
Coach, thanks for making your way over here.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ellie, and thanks to Coach as his team really doing a nice job getting back into it with that important drive right before the half. We will take a time out here and come back with more of our live coverage here of playoff football as the season comes to an end tonight. It's Cooper 19 and Southwest 13 here on CCX. And welcome back here to Cooper High School, Barbara A. Lehman Stadium. And thanks so much for joining us here tonight. And obviously we don't have fans here in the stands, so hopefully a lot of people enjoying it online or on TV tonight as Cooper leading Southwest by a score of 19-13. Let's take a look at some highlights from the first half. And we had some pretty good ones, some good individual plays here as Cooper first time they had the ball, looking for David Connor. A little push off perhaps, but he got the toe tap in, and it was good for the touchdown. So Cooper leading at 6-0 about midway through that first quarter. Southwest coming back. Flaskamp, that time shown to the ground rudely by Nico Easley right there.
It set up this play, which is just watch the catch here. Beautiful one-handed interception.
Chris Bravo with the interception there for Cooper. And then it's Russell coming back and finding Williams right down the seam. And he's in for the touchdown. And at that point, you're thinking, maybe Cooper just, gonna...
A little too much for him.
Yeah, maybe just kind of pull away a little bit, but guess not. Southwest coming back. Flaskamp hard with the run there for the Lakers and able to get himself in.
Great second effort on that one.
And then it's Russell looking for Howard. Watch this. He goes up and gets it and then keeps on driving and almost gets into the end zone. But it set up a touchdown on the very next play as Matthews able to leap over a tackler and work his way in for the score. And so Cooper then, the lead had grown back to 19-7 at that point. But Southwest, a huge drive late in the half. Starting with this, Reed, who came in at quarterback late in, just on that drive, a great run here, and I think that changed the whole complexion of the drive. I think they were thinking about, if we have to punt the ball away, and then Reed coming back and finding the tight end Boucher here. Defender getting turned around a little bit. Boucher, good job, I think, to not push off enough to, draw a flag, and he's able to make the catch, and that brought them to within 19-13 as the extra point was blocked. And you see the stats in the first half favoring Cooper, but both teams doing some good things in both the rush and pass games.
Yeah, pretty good balance for Minneapolis Southwest. You see 73 yards, a lot of that coming from Reed on that last drive, but Cooper's offense has been automatic tonight. They've been efficient, been able to run the ball effectively, some big yards, big plays in the passing game as well.
This is, of course, a Section 5A playoff game as you get a look at the bracket, and didn't have everybody turn out to be able to play their games, but Cooper and Southwest meeting here in what was going to be a semifinal and will instead turn out to be the last game in Spring Lake Park. They're hosting tonight, but their game started at 7, so they haven't actually kicked off yet. And Cooper was hoping to get a shot at Spring Lake Park, but it was decided that that's not the way they were going to go in this section. Some sections did late in the week decide to play a 1 versus 2 for a final. This one was one that ended up not happening that way. So we've got one half of football to go here in this 2020 season. It is Cooper leading Minneapolis Southwest 19-13. Our second half of football coming up in just a moment here on CCX.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.
Welcome back here to Cooper. Let's go to Allie.
Sorry if there's some squeaking there. Coach wants to get back and show his team a play, but we just want to cover, Coach, that was an impressive offensive performance, some nice defensive moments. What didn't you see in the first half that you want to see in the second?
We need to wrap up. Like I said, they number 7, he's a great football player. Like I said at the beginning, great coach team. In order for us to win a football game, we got to make sure that we wrap up and execute. So second half, we got to execute, we got to wrap up, and we got a good opportunity.
Got to go 1-0, Coach.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allie, and thanks to Coach Howard as well. 19-13, Cooper leading Southwest here at halftime. We will take a timeout, and we will come back with half number 2 here. Still anybody's ball game here as we wrap up this COVID-shortened season.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
And welcome back. Cooper did defer the toss after winning the toss before the game, so they get the football here to begin half number 2 as Khalil Borden waiting back middle deep here for Cooper. Gonna keep the ball down on the ground, but taken by Matthews as he'll get out over the 30. And so Cooper getting the football back. As we said, they've been quite efficient offensively in this first half, and probably going to need to keep scoring, it looks like. Southwest showing an ability to put some points on the board themselves. And I always feel like the way the third quarter begins is a real tone setter for the second half. Early, when the game first starts, everybody's jacked up, everybody's warmed up, but you come out for the second half, especially on a cold night, you got to be ready to go right from the get-go here to begin this half as well.
And always interesting to see what adjustments are made on both sides.
Here's Camden Royal with a big gap, well blocked up front, as he'll pick up about a dozen on that first down handoff. Royal unofficially had 62 yards on 11 carries in the first half, so they were generally pretty effective. I mean, the bigger plays came in the pass game, but they ran the ball well also.
You just get the feeling that everything they call is working, right? Nothing is being stopped. And at some point in this second half, if Southwest is going to win this game, they're going to have to come up with a big stop.
Royal right side this time, and another nice gain as he cuts it up the sideline. And Cooper ripping off big chunks of yardage already here.
What I like, too, he looks like he's running a little faster, a little more urgency, not bouncing around. He's hitting that hole, and he's showing off what great footwork he has and also what great speed he does have when he uses it.
So at the 42 of Southwest now, another set of downs for Cooper, 1st and 10. A 12 and a 15-yard run for Camden Royal to begin half number 2 here as Cooper coming out of the gate hot. Russell tossing it. Here's Royal again. Boucher chasing him down and able to make the stop.
It's a heck of a play.
It really was. He showed good ranginess with his arm there to reach out too. And not only, obviously his feet had to get him there, but it looked like Royal might still escape, and it didn't turn out that way. And Royal looked like he was a little bit shaken up too.
Yeah, we saw that play a number of times in the first half, and Boucher just unable to quite close the gap. That time, just great pursuit there, able to get it taken care of. And I can tell you, Cooper, when they can run the ball successfully, in the back of their minds, they're thinking it's going to set up a play action. It's going to set up a pass down the field with all the threats they have.
Matthews in there in the backfield next to Joe Russell here. We got Connors and Williams out to the right. Russell took a look, now takes off running, and he will dance out of bounds inside the 35. Looks like he'll be just short of the first down.
Again, great decision making. You got to be, as a coach, you love having that kind of trust and confidence in your quarterback. And he doesn't panic. He doesn't tuck and run too quickly. He lets it. He surveys the field. He sees he doesn't want to force anything, and he makes a great decision and picks up a big chunk there to set up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, he seems to have a good clock in his head as far as how long can I reasonably expect to stand back here and survey. Here's Matthews, and again, that O-line just ripping up holes. When you got 3rd and 1 and you make it that easily, it's kind of demoralizing for the D.
Yeah, big number 55, Elijah Enna doing a great job up front. And you're right, there's just not contact until 3 or 4 yards down the field, and these backs are so talented. If you can get them into that second level, they're going to make guys miss. Really hard to guard, hard to tackle.
So Matthews, a nice 1st down run, and Royal comes back in to replace him here. 1st and 10 at the Southwest 26 now for Cooper, trying to build on a 19-13 lead. Russell back to Royal on the ground. Up the middle he goes and almost got away. Stays on his feet and then wrapped up as Royal almost went down and got his hand down to brace himself and able to keep his feet moving.
That was just great balance right here. Nice job. Look at that line again with a great push. Right there, almost down. Excellent job just staying up and having the strength to keep going. And again, a great push on the left side of that offensive line. Really well blocked.
Cooper right now thinking we may not even need to throw to get into the end zone. We're maybe just keep testing this until Southwest proves they can stop it. On the 14-yard line now. First down for the Hawks as Royal comes in motion. Going to swing it out to him, but a flag down before the play can ensue here. It's going to be false start against the Hawks.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get Keith Piero, number 12, outside wide receiver there. He was getting ready to block that play. They knew exactly what was coming and just started a little bit early.
False start is called against the Hawks.
Well, and what's disappointing, too, for Cooper is that now you've shown that play. Not only do you lose 5, but you kind of take the element of surprise out of there. I'm sure the play caller right now is going, oh, I wish that whistle had come before we even showed it.
This has been a tough formation to defend. You got double twins, and you got the big tight end running right up the middle of the field.
Russell pumps now, stepping up, and he'll throw, and incomplete.
Pass is incomplete for 11. Howard, flag on the play.
There is a flag down, however. Penalty flag is way on the other side of the field, out away from where Russell threw the ball.
Looked like they got holding.
It is indeed on the Hawks.
Yeah, so after, really impressive opening start to this drive, back-to-back penalties here, moving backwards. You had 1st and 10 at the 13, now they're all the way back to the 30-yard line.
And we started out the game relatively penalty-free, but that's kind of changed a little bit now. 5 flags on the Hawks. Russell throwing to Connors. Connors trying to spin away and held to a relatively short gain of about 5.
Yeah, pretty well defended that time by the Lakers. They just great pursuit, able to get off blocks out there and limit that to a pretty short game.
Yeah, no, I got a little wonder.
And this is where they become really tough to defend. Obviously, you got your Royal out of the backfield who's been effective at running and also catching some balls out of the backfield, but you have Dante Williams, you have David Connors that can spread the field, and then don't forget, too, about Jackson Howard right up that seam. So this is where they become really hard to defend.
Russell firing over the middle and incomplete as taking a hit was Hayes.
They threw a flag about 10 seconds late. Again, you got to be impressed. Even though incompletion, Joseph Russell showing off his arm strength there, able to have the time. He's had time. Again, kudos to that offensive line for protecting him the way he has, but he stands in that pocket and he fired an absolute rocket. And that was definitely a hard hit there.
I got to believe this is going to be a personal foul. But again, it appears a couple of other officials are saying, are you sure?
So the thing is it's not illegal to hit somebody hard. It's whether or not you lowered your head or you went at their head, a defenseless receiver.
You can't go there from the sideline. Personal ball. Targeting.
Got a targeting call on Reed there.
The targeting is called against the Lakers on the tackle.
Interesting there. He kind of he left his feet a little. I don't know. It
looked like he hit with his hands, so it wasn't his head.
Oh, into the side of the head though of Hayes. It might have been a little more legit call than I thought at first. It looked like he did bring that arm up and kind of either the heel of the hand or the forearm into the side of the head, so it will make it a first down for Cooper as they get it all sorted out.
I wonder if the question is with targeting, is that an automatic? No.
Now they're discussing whether it's a first down.
It's not an automatic first down. So they're going to keep it at second down.
So we get it all sorted out. A costly penalty there against the Lakers.
You see him spread out here. I look for something up the middle. Yep.
Here's Matthews on the run. Flaskamp getting him down at the 5 with some help as well. Cooper wants to get up there and go quick.
7-yard gain on the play. Third down.
So third down coming up for the Hawks here right about the 5-yard line. Back to Matthews. Matthews is wrapped up just short of the goal line. Ball came out. Lakers are saying they've got it. Looks as though they're going to roll him down first, though.
Ball carried by number 23, Terrence
As Boucher wound up with the recovery, and Matthews is hurt.
God, it looked like his momentum was going to carry him into the end zone. That was a great tackle. Whoever brought him back there at the last second.
I think it was Boucher.
Yeah.
And Matthews, he doesn't want to stay down on the field, but he's obviously having a little trouble getting to the sideline. Look at that. He's crawling off. Yeah, I sure thought the same thing, that he was going to go in. Watch Boucher, though, very strong here, grabbing him. And then it ultimately ended up taking the ball out. Yeah, he was down.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, when you get bent like that, you always worry about someone's knees or hips or something. But, yeah, it definitely looked like he was going to go into that end zone. Had all the momentum. And a great job by Boucher there just to rip him backwards and prevent him from getting in.
And it is a first down, so first and goal at the 1 as they step up to the line here. Russell going to hand it off, and there is Camden Royal easily in for the touchdown for the Hawks.
Great push again up front. I'll tell you, when you got first and goal at the 1 and you don't get touched until you're a yard into the end zone, yes, great job by Royal running that football, but a great job by the big fellas up front just driving that line of scrimmage back. It's exactly what Coach Howard wanted, I bet, out of the halftime. You get your lead cut to 1 score, and you come and just completely control the line of scrimmage, doing most of the damage, too, on the ground.
And how big was that penalty on Southwest, too, after Cooper had hurt
really
themselves
backed themselves back up to the 30-yard line, so absolutely a huge play.
The kicking game hasn't been going so well, so now they're going to go for 2. Russell fakes the handoff here. Wanted to throw back the other way. Avoids the rush. Now fires, but into the ground as he tried to go for Howard. And so the extra point, 2-point try will be no good, and it's 25-13 Hawks as you can look at the touchdown first.
And good push, too, there by Jackson Howard, the tight end, getting his defender a good 3-4 yards in the end zone. So an easy touchdown there. Yeah, other than conversions after touchdowns, this Hawks offense has just been really efficient, really well balanced too, and just dominant on the line of scrimmage.
And Coach Zoa from Southwest said his defense for the most part hasn't really given up a lot this year. He was, he knew Cooper had some weapons, but he was fairly confident that they were ready for it, but they have had trouble stopping him. There's no two ways about it.
And I'll tell you, at the high school level, Jay, when a team has balance, when they can throw and run equally well, it's really hard to defend, right? If there's most teams are really good at one thing, and because of that, it's easier to take that one thing away, force them into doing what they're uncomfortable doing. I think Cooper, with the way they can spread you out, they can beat you deep, they can beat you with quick passes, they can run, they can play power, they can kind of do it all, and it makes it really hard to defend.
Booted on the ground. Maddox will take it at the 15. And he is thrown down short of the 30. He wants a flag. It looked like they kind of had a hold of like the back of the helmet maybe. Not quite the face mask, but still possibly up high. And Maddox quickly asked for a flag, but it doesn't look like we got it. We do have an injured Laker down on the field. Can't quite make the number out here, as much like Matthews for Cooper, not really wanting to linger down in the field and get up and walk it off here. It looks like it's 15, I believe, LZ Teague. Interesting to see if they'll have Ingen back there. Of course, late in the half, their quarterback was replaced at quarterback by Reed, and it looks as though they're going to stick with that to begin half 2 here, I think. Yeah, Reed is going to be taking the snaps, it would appear. I think Coach kind of alluded to that at halftime that, we really just
seniors,
we want to put the ball in our best couple players' hands most of the time here, and that would be Flaskamp and Reed. Here's Flaskamp sweeping to the left. Makes a cut and works his way upfield.
Yeah, did you see him? He got to that outside, and then he was patient enough to let his blockers get in front of him and then cut up the field from that. So nice job running the football. And, usually great running backs have great vision, great patience, and Flaskamp certainly one of them. You can see he was kind of taking it slow, was going to cut the corner. Watch him wait for Reed right there. Let's Reed take that guy out, able to cut up the field and get an extra 5-6 yards out of it.
Got 9 on first down, second and a yard. And they've got the way they're set up in this formation, you're never quite sure who the snap's going to go to. And it's Flaskamp again this time. And he is going to be stopped for a loss. As the Hawks, good penetration there. Ramon Arrington, one of those in there. I kind of like it. You look back to watch films from, I don't know what decade exactly, 20s and 30s and 40s, and that's kind of what we've sort of evolved back to on some of these snaps where it's, the Wildcat look, if you want to call it that. But
and I tell you, Cooper bringing all 11 guys into the box. They have no one deep. They are bringing everyone up, knowing that the likelihood of it being a run is pretty high.
Be 3rd and 3 after that loss on second down. Reed looking to throw, now chased out of there. Reed still looking downfield, throws. Did he hang on?
He did.
Yes. What a strike to Maddox. Great throw and catch.
Wow, what a throw. Great job eluding pressure, throwing on the run down the field. He puts it right on Maddox, but Maddox, his arms were getting ripped. Watch him hang on to this football. I thought he was going to be a drop here. Just a great throw, diving out of bounds. You can see that his arm getting ripped. Great hands, able to hang on to that too.
Coach Howard had an earful for the official. It looked like he maybe didn't catch it 100% clean. He never fully dropped it, but then the question becomes, when did you have possession? But they say the catch is good, and a great effort by Southwest, both guys, Reed and Maddox. They go with a little reverse look here. Sweeping to the left is Maida. Maida down the sideline.
Still going.
And finally shoved down by Howard. As a big play there. Southwest getting the flow going right and coming back at the reverse to Maida.
Yeah, nice job. You know what? You use Flaskamp as a decoy there. The whole defense flowing to their left side. Here's the reverse coming back around. Nice play. And Maida, look at him fighting for extra yards. Doesn't carry the ball often, but you can see the effort, too, down the sideline. Beautiful play call. Nice rhythm to this Wildcat offense.
35-yard run. Cooper really overran it there.
Yep.
Looked like now the snap going to Brown, the fullback or H-back in that look, and he is stacked up. Not much of a gain there. Cooper didn't appear to be fooled by that. I'm kind of surprised they weren't, because it's the first time we've seen that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, even though you didn't get much, you see Southwest getting a little creative on offense, and it's good. It's going to end up opening up plays for Flaskamp. And that's who they want to get the ball to, but just having some diversions out of this offense, I think, has been huge.
Flaskamp takes the snap this time, trying to get around that left edge. Dives for the goal line, and it's a touchdown. Flaskamp able to work his magic up the sideline there and then get in as he put his foot in the ground and cut hard.
Again, didn't it look like there was nowhere to go on that side? You saw a wall of blue jerseys defensively, and somehow he just managed to slither through there using that power and able to dive to that pylon and get the ball over.
So.
I mean, other than Southwest's first 2 offensive possessions, I mean, every time both offenses have had it, it's resulted in points. So both offenses really, running efficiently. And that was the most impressive drive, I think, tonight for Southwest, the way they did it.
Ramos on for the extra point, but got a flag down as a false start against Southwest, so push them back 5.
False start call against the Lakers.
Still going to kick this ball here, so of course if they were able to get a make, it would pull them to within 5, so a touchdown would then put them ahead. A little bit of a high snap, but Maddox got it down, and the kick is up, and it is no good.
Extra point is no good.
So both teams have struggled in conversions here tonight, but here's Flaskamp scoring.
Yeah, it just didn't look like there was enough there. He got to that sideline. You could see him cut up the field. Right there, nowhere to go. He cuts up to the field, able to get north and south, and just great extension there as he dove before he went out of bounds. And they're fired up, knowing, hey, this is my last game ever as a high school athlete. I'm going to give it everything I got. And you just love the effort. You love the excitement, too.
Yeah, he does a very nice job of knowing where the sideline is, but not kind of giving up on the play just when he's at the edge. He gets some of his best yardage on those kind of cuts.
Well, not a big guy, but you can just look at him. You can see the muscles bulging out of the shirt there. Very tough, very strong. Plays bigger than 5'10", 205 pounds. He's got those strong legs, too, driving him forward.
Coach told us he benches about 350. He said pound for pound, most games we play, he's the strongest guy on the field.
So he's about on par with you when you guys are on the bench there, so that's good.
Well, that's five reps equaling.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to keep this ball along the ground. Again, it takes a pretty nice hop up, though, to Khalil Borden. Makes the first wave miss. Ooh, and then he got hit from behind. Good thing he was holding the ball high and tight there, because that one could have easily come out. When you don't see a tackler coming is when those fumbles occur. So that's where you sit and practice that high and tight and strip drills and all that kind of thing. And luckily for Cooper and Borden, he did have it held pretty well.
Well, if you're Southwest right now, you got to be thinking turnover. You got to be thinking create a fumble, maybe get an interception, because they just haven't had an answer to slow down the Hawks offense. And at some point for them to win this football game, being down a score, they're going to have to eventually get a stop one way or the other.
Russell up under center, handing it off to Royal as he bounces it outside, and then Met there, and Reed will knock him out and wisely hold up from throwing him down. He wanted to, but he realized the sideline was there and just let go.
And those are harder to do, right? You work hard, you want to get, and you're taught to finish your tackles, but when you're out of bounds, you got to just let go. Smart play. And again, not a huge, play, but it's 5-6 yards on first down. Cooper just continually winning first downs all evening long.
2nd and 4 now. Joe Russell fakes the handoff. Floating it out, Williams with the catch and has some room up the sideline. Williams cutting it back to the middle of the field, and Williams has some blockers with, and he's going to possibly get all the way, and he will.
Goodness.
Touchdown, 63 yards for the Hawks.
Wow. Again, a quick, easy throw and catch for your quarterback and for Williams, and he is just magical when he gets that ball in his hands. Great speed. And great blocking down the field, too. You guys saw a number of Cooper Hawks down the field holding their blocks. And it results in a huge play. And again, what a great offense tonight for Cooper. Unbelievable. Every time they've had possession, they've been able to punch it in. And there's a big one in the passing game.
So we've had 3 touchdowns in just over 3 minutes now total. A couple for Cooper with one sandwiched in the middle by Southwest. So again, the Hawks going to go for 2 here. Gonna hand it off to Royal. He breaks a tackle and will get in for the 2-point conversion.
Great spin, too, to avoid that getting tackled in the backfield.
Oh, there's a flag down. This may not stand as a 2-point conversion. Let's see.
It looked like it came after the play.
Yeah, you may be right.
Generally, it's celebration or something of that nature, but it looked like it was thrown after the ball had scored.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Cooper will be assessed on the kickoff.
Oh, here's a look at that touchdown again. Nice little play action, throw out, no one out in the flat, and then look at the speed. Great vision, great cutback. And here you can see great hustle, great blocking down the field. I mean, you're 50 yards down the field, still blocking. It just looked too easy. And here's a look at that great spin move in the backfield there, able to get the 2-point conversion. That's how you cap off a big drive, add in the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, so the 2-pointer stands, that the penalty coming as a dead ball foul after the play, meaning Cooper will have to kick off 15 yards back.
Dante getting that touchdown belt back in his possession multiple times tonight.
So they'll kick off from the 25, which doesn't help.
Love it. You see the teaching, the coaching going on all the time in high school sports, and that's what great coaches do. You never settle. You're always teaching, always learning.
Reed will pick it up here for the Lakers, and wow, he got rocked. Heavy duty hit there for Cooper by Sylvester Togba.
I was about to say that was a really impressive run. When Jaden Reed runs, I mean, he runs. He's electric, and Togba put an end to that run right there. That's exactly how you're taught to tackle. Low, head up, driving with your legs, your shoulder pads, and see his teammates are fired up for him too. That was a great tackle.
Lakers football at the 46. They're now down by 14 at 33-19. Reed is the quarterback. Again, they go to that reverse, which worked so well before. Maida, this time not nearly as much, although still a decent gainer of about 4 or 5.
Yeah, and you put a lot of pressure on your offense if you're Southwest, because you just haven't had an answer for the Cooper offense. So you're forced to kind of keep up in this marathon, and got to keep finding ways to get first downs, keep finding ways to score points.
Snap going to Flaskamp here with Reed out leading him as a blocker. Cuts it back up and driven out of bounds just into Cooper territory.
You know, the thing is, those long developing outside plays like that, it's so hard against a Cooper defense that's so fast, right? They're going to cover that ground and explode on that. Southwest having a little bit better luck tonight when they're a little bit more quick hitters or right off the edge. When you allow that play to string out like that, that's advantage definitely to the Hawks' speed on defense.
No gain on that play, so they stay right at midfield here, and third and about 5 coming up here for Southwest. Again, late in the first half, they went away from who had been their quarterback, Engen, and here's Flaskamp taking the direct snap again. Has some room on the left side, and Flaskamp will be brought down a little shy of the 40, but it's enough for the first down.
Yeah, and a little bit different wrinkle in that play. It looked like everything was rolling to the right. They've direct snapped, and he's usually been following Jaden Reed as a lead blocker. That time, Reed went to the right, and Flaskamp went to the left. And a quick hitter right off the edge. They're able to get positive yards, pick up the first down. Southwest just throwing a little new wrinkle in every time they've been on offense here in the second half.
Yeah, they're running the ball almost exclusively, but there's still some creativity to how they're doing it for sure. Reed handing it off to Flaskamp, trying to sweep, got a stiff arm in there. Oh, ball's loose! Scramble for it here, and it looks like the Lakers got it back. And they did.
Was that Flaskamp that ended up getting on it,
somehow
too?
He recovers his own fumble. And we've got an injured player down on the play. Watch the hit coming right there by Borden. And Flaskamp somehow won the race back to that ball. Be a loss of about 5 on the play, but more importantly right now is we've got an injured Southwest player down.
It was the guy who was right next to 7 in that run play. They both tried that from 12, but 7 got it.
I believe it's Maida, number 5, who was down.
It does look like Maida. Oh, no, it's
Garner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we didn't see the one. Oh, good to see him up and walking off on his own power. Been a physical game, really, on both sides. You've seen some injuries here, and hopefully none of them serious, but you know there's some definite hitting going on.
Well, Cooper's district neighbor Armstrong not faring quite as well tonight, down by 20 to Monticello in their matchup in Section 6 5A tonight. Well, 2nd and 14 now after Southwest able to get back and recover their fumble. Reed. Deep drop, under pressure, throwing it up, and it is broken up. Falls incomplete as he went for Maddox.
Well, Maddox was there again, good coverage, not surprising anyone on 2nd and long. And Jaden Reed again staying tough in that pocket, pressure bearing down on him, able to just stay in there. Gets off a good throw and a catchable ball for Maddox. We've seen him make some really good catches here tonight. So 3rd and long, you don't need to get it all on this play. I think if you're Southwest, you can stick to one of your runs, try to pick up that 8 to 10 yards so you set up a 4th and manageable.
Low snap, Reed up with it, looking to throw. Floating it downfield, it's intercepted. Connors up with the pick for the Hawks. And then Connors and Maddox barking, and now we get flags everywhere at the end of the play.
What an athletic play, too. Coming out of nowhere on that one was David Connors. Great interception, great athleticism.
And let's see what we're going to have for the call. The way the flag was thrown, it seems like it might be on Cooper. There was definitely plenty of woofing both ways there, but we'll see.
Those are the kind of plays I feel like just don't throw a flag. Well, I mean, there's nothing was gained on either side. There's going to be emotion. It's their last game of the year on both sides. It just made an unbelievable play.
Well, and the other thing about it is, could we maybe go less than 5 minutes on every conference here?
Yeah.
And I know, again, I said earlier this year, there's going to be officials watching this who are going to be irate at me, but you have to be thinking about the pace of these games.
Yeah.
You can't just stand there and talk forever.
Yep. What a catch.
So they'll both be against Cooper.
That was just a great athletic interception, too.
Two unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Hawks. Hawks take over after the interception.
Every Cooper player over here, let's go in the locker. Let's go. That's you too, JJ. Let's go. On the hop. Every player over here.
So they'll be pushed all the way back. It actually is 2 penalties.
First down, Hawks from the 6.
You see Coach Howard talking to his guys, and that's what I love about Coach Howard. He's always trying to teach his kids not only X's and O's, but how to compete. We don't celebrate. Act like you've been there before. Always trying to get his kids better, and his messaging is always right on point. He's one of my favorite coaches around.
From the 6, handoff going to Royal, and he'll be driven back as this one is kind of taking a turn for the Chippy a little bit here late in the third quarter. We're down under a minute to play in the third. And Royal a decent pickup of about 4 or maybe 5 on that first down play. Yeah, looks like you're giving. So they'll probably only have to snap it once more in this quarter here as we tick down under 20 seconds to go in the third. Handoff back to Royal here. And they had a hold of him up high. There's going to be a flag. I think it's a face mask against the Lakers here. So we'll check on this flag before the quarter ends here. Yeah, that flag coming from the back judge there. Look, they definitely had the hand up around the helmet and got enough to be a grasp on it. So we have come to the end of the third quarter, and our score after 3, it's Cooper 33 and Southwest 19. The fourth quarter is on the way next here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back. There's former Viking Ed McDaniel, coaches the linebackers here with the Hawks, and his team leading at 33-19 as we turn around and go to the fourth quarter here. Russell, and it's juggled and held on to there by Kager for the Hawks. Kind of got through his hands a little bit, but then he was able to hang on.
Well, good concentration to stay with it and come down with it. If he doesn't juggle that, he's got plenty of green in front of him. Another good throw. I don't know the exact number, but Joseph Russell, has he had an incompletion yet tonight?
Just a couple,
just maybe 1 or 2. He's been so accurate. We talked about him. He's 65% completion percentage coming into the game, and tonight's been even better than that.
Royal had a big gap. It closes in a hurry as Flaskamp brought him down hard. It'll be enough for the first down, it would appear. No, maybe not quite. Nope, just short. So 3rd and 1 coming up here for Cooper.
And again, Southwest has to get something happening on defense. They got to be trying to strip that football, try to create a turnover, try to get some spark, get the ball back for their offense.
To Royal, makes a nice little move. Flaskamp throws him down, but it's still going to be enough for the first down here for Cooper, it would appear. Yep. I think this would be a time for Cooper. You'd like to have a nice kind of deflating drive where you just run it at him.
Take about 6 minutes off the clock and just kind of physically assert your dominance at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely. And if you're Southwest, you try to bring something different. You try to bring some blitz, some pressure. Try to get a big play in the backfield where you can force maybe a second or third and long, force Cooper into a knowing throwing down. They just have such great balance right now, such great rhythm.
Little option look. Royal hemmed in the backfield,
this could be it,
and down he goes. Boucher able to wrap him up for a big loss. And I'm not so sure Royal wasn't maybe looking to throw that ball.
Yeah, kind of just had a different rhythm to it, didn't it, on that option, and really well defended. Boucher's had a nice game tonight, caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game, but also defensively he's had a really nice game. And big loss there, almost 8 yards on the loss.
So that kind of takes Cooper off schedule a little bit here. Not that, you can't still do what you wanted to do on this drive, but obviously it doesn't lend itself to the same type of play calls as if maybe it was 2nd and 5 or whatnot. Well, they go back to Royal on the ground. Nice gap initially. Brown cuts him down with Flaskamp joining him at the end there as well. They'll get back the yardage they lost for the most part, and then that's about it. So bring up a 3rd and long here.
Well, this is the game, I think, for Southwest. They got to get a stop here. They got to get the ball back to their offense. Being down 2 scores, their defense really needs to have an urgency here to get a stop.
Russell firing. Royal with a nice catch, and he's into the secondary. Lakers trying to rip that ball free, but he will be down inside the 40 to about the 37.
And it's a great play call. They go trips to the left with one receiver to the right. So you have most of the defense focused on that trips. The defense, the wide receiver on the right runs it deep, just right down the field, and that takes the defenders with them. And then Royal wide open in the flat. You can see wide open, no linebacker accounted for. Just a great move, too.
And Cooper, you could hear their bench saying, get down. Once he was wrapped up there, you don't want to get the ball ripped free. And up the middle they go here as Davidson, who had the touchdown earlier, able to get that one in. Or I'm sorry, not a touchdown, but a first down gain earlier. So he's another dimension in the backfield. Under 8 to go now as Cooper firing off hard off the offensive line. 2nd and 6. They've really been effective all night long, protecting Russell, but also run blocking, obviously. Throw out in the flat, complete to Williams, getting a block out front. Williams is going to go for the touchdown.
Wow.
Cooper continues to roll.
Well, a lot of the touchdowns have been plays just like that, a little play action. Oh, there is a flag.
Yeah, you're right.
I wonder if that's going to be a hold.
Does not look like this one's going to count.
Man, Dante Williams, isn't he electric? He's got that ball in his hand. You feel like he's going to score every time he touches it. He's got so much space open, too. Just, again, great play call and great rhythm tonight for Cooper.
So it was on the receiver out there, Connors. Another look as they throw in the flat. Here's Connors getting up into his man, and that's a terrible call. That's not a hold. That should have been a touchdown. Boy, you get on your receivers to get out there and engage and get a block, and I don't know.
No, people aren't here to watch the referees make calls. We're here to watch players make plays, and that looked like a pretty clean block, great effort, and a spectacular run or catch and run by Williams.
Here's Connors looking to throw it now. Connors downfield, and the catch is made for the score by Piero.
Wow. So you get a touchdown taken away. You come right back with a little bit of trickery. Connors looks like he's coming with the end around reverse. Defense sucks up and he throws it right over the top. And Piero with a great catch. Cooper's fired up. They're excited.
Pulling out a little bit of everything here as they go. Connors on the reverse, throwing it.
And it looked like it was pretty well defended there. I don't know if the defender maybe slipped.
They'll go back to trying to kick it through here. And the extra point attempt is no good. So 39-19 Cooper as Connors finding Piero for the touchdown there. One play after they'd had one wiped out by a penalty.
You see everyone coming up, throwing it over the top, and yeah, you can see the defender there. Just got a little turned around, lost his footing.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to the touchdown Southwest had in the first half, where it was a little underthrown, and the receiver saw the ball a little sooner than the defender. This time was Maida, who just couldn't react and get himself turned around. Let's go down to the field with Allie.
Guys, I got to be honest, this is pretty cool. We talked about how there are no fans here. I told you about how behind me on the about 10-yard line, there's probably about 10 fans or so. But not long ago, I think some of the cheerleaders showed up. They have started some of their cheers, and the players are responding back as if the fans would. I think that's really helped with the energy. There's also somebody with a megaphone over in the parking lot yelling. When they scored the touchdown, cars' lights were flashing on and off. That's something that really means something to the team in a kind of an experience, right? That's so crazy, but you can tell this team is definitely appreciating who's showing up for this game.
Thanks, Allie, and that's the part you kind of forget about a little bit, is it's been tough this year, you know, for families and things, and, you know, certain areas they've not allowed fans at all this whole year, and I believe in the city schools that was the case, and here at Cooper they had been allowing up to 250, you know, which was the maximum, and for the most part it's gone well, but I think it's fair to say that some extended family and friends haven't been able to come to these games, and classmates as well that, you know, would have liked to have been here, but it is what it is. But that's great to see that people have come, and even if they can't physically be directly in the stadium, have been here cheering on their teams a little bit.
No, and it's important for the athletes too. That's one of the great things about high school sports, is playing in front of your peers and your teachers and your administrators, and having that community atmosphere. And so it's been a big piece of games that's been missing in this weird year. But anyone who can get in here and the kids feel it, trust me, as an athlete, you feel the fans and the crowd.
Reed rolling out to the right, cutting it upfield and knocked out of bounds. That'll be a late hit. Flag flies.
He's got great speed, though, doesn't he, Reed? When he turns it north and south, he's been an explosive player, a fun player tonight.
Very short gain initially, but it appeared that Cooper just didn't pull off and kept up on the tackle when he was out of bounds already. So it is a dead ball personal foul. Be a 15-yarder against the Hawks.
Personal foul call on the Hawks. Dead ball foul.
So it'll be at the 45 of Cooper now, first down for Southwest, and there we get a look at Reese, who was injured earlier. Got some crutches out, so
Hate to see that.
Yeah, that's too bad, although I'm glad he's at least well enough to be here still. Flaskamp shook off the first tackler, but then a wave of guys in blue and orange come up and drive him down.
Again, just a great effort to get back to the line of scrimmage. Avoided a missile in the backfield there and able to make a miss there, but just a wall of blue jerseys there on the defensive line.
They've done a nice job of gang tackling. I mean, obviously there have been times when Flaskamp's made some guys miss and broken some tackles, but it kind of shows you what his strength in numbers. We get bodies there and wrap him up. We got a lot better chance to get him down than going one-on-one. Reed rolling to the right, now under pressure, steps around Akindele.
Oh, wow.
And up the sideline he'll go and then shoved out.
I'll tell you, both teams still playing with a ton of emotion and a ton of effort and excitement. You can see Southwest excited on that run, how he finished that run. It was a design throwback to the left and well defended by Cooper, and he decides to tuck it, and I mean just explodes down that sideline, and that's how you finish a runoff too, lowering his shoulder.
Boy, Akindele, I'm sure, was thinking, I'm about to get a sack here, and all of a sudden he was gone.
He was gone, yeah.
At the 32 now of Cooper, first down for Southwest. Brown taking the snap this time, and Brown has some room down the sideline. Finally shoved out, but he is all the way down just inside the 10 or about the 9. Another nice gainer here for Southwest.
Well, what I love is, being down 20 with 6 minutes, I mean, you're obviously still in the game, but win or lose, you're not quitting. You're leaving it all on the table, and you got seniors out here that are fighting for every yard. You love the competitiveness. You love how both teams are just competing 100%.
Flaskamp trying to find some space along that sideline, and looks like he'll be down inside the 5 to about the 4.
Five-yard gain on the play, second down.
So Southwest, I think, very fair to say, a must-score drive here, and they like to do it sooner rather than later if they could, too. Got a stoppage here and an official timeout for an injury, I think. Got a Cooper player down on one knee here, and it appears to be Richard Lahr. No, I'm sorry, Borden. 24, not 54. Khalil Borden holding that left arm.
Yeah, it's been a physical game for both sides.
So Southwest would like to punch this one in quick and then kind of go from there.
Second down, Lakers from the 4-yard line.
Second down from the 4. Flaskamp trying to get to the edge again. He'll advance it a little bit, but not to the end zone. He gets about 2.
Oh, nice job defending that. Just a nice blue wall. And Coach Howard talked at halftime about wrapping up. That was something he was looking for, and I think Cooper's done a better job of it here in the second half. As good as Flaskamp is at breaking tackles and just moving the pile forward, Cooper done a much better job here of team tackling, gang tackling, and wrapping up.
Reed will take the snap, now trying to bounce it to the outside, and he's going to run out of space.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're that close, you generally don't want to get going backwards like that. You want to just keep your forward momentum. I'm surprised they didn't give the ball to Flaskamp right up the middle, but Again, great effort by Reed, but just going the wrong direction on that one.
Yeah, it almost looked like they wanted to use Flaskamp as a blocker for Reed, and he was supposed to follow it in, but it looked like there wasn't a lot there.
Yep.
So you're right. Once he got going to the outside, there wasn't much hope. 4th down and goal from the 3 now, as he had a short loss on that play. Flaskamp drops it, and that's going to spell the end of that one as the Hawks get there and will get the stop, and Southwest turns it over on downs. Snap was a little bit low. Flaskamp couldn't come up with it, and obviously going to run out of time to do anything with it at that point.
Oh, great stop by the Cooper defense, giving up some big plays, getting down into that 1 yard line there, but just great physical presence at the line of scrimmage, not breaking.
So Cooper will get the football back at about the 10-yard line here, and 4:42 all that remains. They are up by 20. Taking care of the football is first and foremost on the agenda here for the Hawks right now. Russell will hand it off to Royal, and a nice big hole opens up. And Maddox, the ball comes out late, and it doesn't appear as though they had whistled it down. I thought perhaps he had already gone down, but it looked like they let that play keep going.
What a great block by big number 71, Anthony Rhines that time. Just a great block. Watch it. You see that highlight. Look at that kick out and that huge hole right there.
See when this one falls out. Boy, I would have guessed he had been down, but and now we got injured player for the Hawks here. It is Royal. It might be, is it a cramp? The way they're working that leg, it kind of appears so. Royal did get enough for the first down there. Yeah, it certainly does appear that it must be cramped the way they're, bending the toes back and trying to massage the calf a little bit. You always think of that as more of a warm weather kind of deal, but we saw it in the last football game I did last week over at Brooklyn Center as well.
Well, the warm weather, oftentimes it'll coincide with dehydration that can cause it. Cold weather is just your muscles get so tight quickly out there that they can cramp up. So yeah, either climate is inducive to cramping.
Well, and it almost appears as though it's both legs for Royal. They were first working on the right leg, and then as they tried to start to try and get him up, it went to the left calf.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a couple of the other guys, Southwest guys in their secondary, they're kind of thinking, this could be me too. I better stretch out a little bit. So they're stretching, and good little help to get him up. Having the trainer trying to help him up wasn't exactly working.
And those cramps, they're generally short term, right? It's going to end up being okay, but they can be very, very painful, especially when they're in your calf like that.
So after a brief pause here, looks like we're about ready to go. Again, that Royal did get the first down on that play. So 1st and 10 for the Hawks. And Southwest starting to run out of time here, it looks like. Keep it on the ground, and it's going to be Davidson fighting forward.
And if you're Southwest, you got a gang tackle here. If someone's got a hold of the ball carrier, you got to come in and with those arms and try to knock that ball loose, try to create some type of turnover. And on the flip side, Cooper done a great job all night long of hanging on to that football.
Back to Davidson on the ground. A little bigger back, and he just runs it hard straight up the middle. And Flaskamp made the tackle, and Flaskamp now a little slow to get up.
Yeah, that was some contact right there. And that young man has had a tremendous game running the football, tackling. He's been in on almost every single play here tonight.
Another first down for Cooper. Out to the 35 as they, again, would like to just be able to pound this ball at them and don't really need another score. If you get one, okay. But here's Davidson on the run again. And you have to figure Southwest kind of wearing down a little bit, too, by now. They're not, a super deep team. And they've had some, lost a few players late this week with who, bowed out because of COVID.
Well, and you bring up a great point too, Jay. They're not deep. They have a lot of players starting on both sides of the football, and this Cooper team is just so big and physical that it wears on you. When you're only playing one side of the football, much less playing both sides of the football, you're going to get worn out.
And Cooper's stable of backs keeps going. Elvin North on the run that time, and his bench is pumped up for him.
Wow. That was a physical play, physical run too, and that's how you finish a run off. I mean, right here, a big hit. Look at him keep those legs going and still just fighting and churning. And these guys knowing it's their last game of the year, leaving it all on the football field on both sides.
Under 2:25 to go here as Cooper working in some subs and pounding the ball at him a little bit here. Russell will hand it to Davidson, and he burrows forward to about the 45 of Southwest, so a gain of 3 more, and it doesn't really look like, either team's going to be thinking about using timeouts. No real need to at this point. You're too far behind if you're Southwest, and if you're Cooper, you don't need more points. Both coaches, the coaches kind of know each other, and a lot of the staffs know each other too. So there's some respect there. I mean, it got heated a little bit, there's no doubt. But here's North with the handoff again, and he will pick up about 5. Boy, you got some people who haven't carried the ball much who look pretty darn good doing it.
Pretty comfortable doing it. Absolutely. North, middle linebacker on defense, and runs like a middle linebacker on offense, just looking for contact, and not a fun guy to bring down. I can't imagine.
3rd and a long 2 as we'll be under a minute to go when this ball is snapped again. Cooper is going to end the season on a good note here. Handoff to Davidson. He'll pick up the first down as Flaskamp makes the stop, but not until he crossed inside the 35. And about 7 more on that carry, so Cooper to the point where they could kneel if they want to, or they may just keep on handing it off. But we are down to probably just maybe one more play to go in this game, and it's going to be a season-ending win here for Cooper.
Yeah, really impressive performance tonight by the Hawks. Defensively, they were good, but offensively, they were absolutely efficient and perfect tonight. Great rhythm, great balance, some great individual plays too. Dante Williams with a big game. David Connors with that big touchdown catch. And an excellent game by Joseph Russell at quarterback too.
Russell will take a knee, and the clock will tick down 2 zeros as Cooper will finish at 4-3 here in the 39-19 victory over Southwest. And again, Ryan, it's not been the type of season that everybody's accustomed to or loves, but I think in some ways, it's a season that I'm glad that these kids got to experience,
Yep.
even if it was shorter than usual, and they're going to leave tonight pretty darn happy after this win.
No, absolutely. And you got to remember, in the fall, it looked like there was going to be no fall sports, and then all of a sudden it was back on. And, you know, obviously no state championships, not an ideal end, but to your point, they got to play, and you make the most of it. And Cooper, this is how you want to end your year like this. Your seniors came out and gave a great performance, a dominating performance tonight, and Southwest too has got a heck of a lot of talented players on their side, nothing to hang their hat about as well.
No, a good season certainly for the Lakers, winning their sub-district again for the second year in a row, and some really good, talented. I mean, think of guys like Flaskamp and Reed, and you know, Boucher and some of the others that really stood out and played well tonight for them. They've got a nice football team too. But Cooper, this is maybe about as sharp offensively maybe as they've had all season. I mean, they've certainly put some points up and done some good things in some of their other games this season. But they were kind of on point, I think, for the most part all night long. And you know, you give that O-line some credit up front as well.
They gave Russell all the time in the world to pass. His accuracy is really something that's stood out to me as well coming into the game, but then seeing it in person tonight. And he's only a junior. He's going to be back. They got a lot of talented guys coming back next year too. So this is a great victory they can go into the offseason and build on. And they're going to be a force next year. I really believe that.
Russell has got that great combination of explosiveness, but such cool and calm as a quarterback.
And decision-making, right? He doesn't force things. He's not trying to always make the big play. He makes the right play. And you don't see a lot of high school quarterbacks that read their progressions the way he did. I was extremely impressed with how he plays the position here tonight.
And again, this will be the final round. We're not getting a chance to play section championships or even state playoffs this year because of the rising COVID numbers, and obviously the safety of everybody in these communities is first and foremost, and you know, it's hard not to be concerned when you're hearing the numbers that we've been hearing from around the state this week. But at the same time, you know, like we said, kind of glad that these kids got to experience this here tonight and this season, even if it is in shortened form a little bit.
Well, hopefully we get the numbers under control here the next 4 weeks during the pause, and can have some winter sports and some basketball here this winter, and hockey, and
Yeah, she said that he knows to come there as soon as they're done here, basically. But so I don't know, I'm torn. We could take a quick break, I guess. Sure, let's do that.
So we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We're going to hear from one of the Cooper players in just a moment here. 39-19, your final score. The Hawks win it over Southwest.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Cooper High School as the Hawks get a chance to end the 2020 season on a good note here as our final game of the season for prep football on CCX. The Hawks win 39-19 here over the Lakers from Southwest High School in Minneapolis. So Cooper finishing up at 4-3. And Allie is standing by now with one of the guys who had a spectacular night for Cooper, Dante Williams.
Yeah, he did have a spectacular night. Dante, this caps off the probably most bizarre season you've ever been a part of. You are officially the champions of your section semifinal game.
Yep.
But when you think about this whole season, it almost didn't happen. Then you get a 6-game regular season. Then the playoffs get completely upturned. And here you are in your last game. What has this entire experience been like?
Honestly, I'm glad they made the decision that they made earlier this year, because for a lot of our seniors, I don't want nothing less for them. A lot of the seniors this was a big recruiting thing for them. Their future is football. So I'm glad we got our 6 games for sure, and then we got an extra game just so the seniors and even juniors can get enough film so we can go to college.
You know, this game tonight, it was a battle out there. This ending score didn't quite show it, but you guys really had to ball out. You had a few nice scores. Talk about your favorite one tonight and walk us through that.
It was definitely my second touchdown of the night on a W bubble. I caught it, really wasn't expecting too much out of it, made a few cuts, and then next thing I know, I ended up in the end zone.
You had an incredibly impressive performance offensively. On the other side of the ball, Southwest running back came into this game with over 1,100 rushing yards. You guys were able to kind of contain him tonight. What did your defense do that was so effective?
Honestly, before this week, we weren't exactly sure with who was playing. So we had a game plan for Spring Lake Park and Southwest this year. And honestly, it was just reading your keys. That's all it was. Reading your keys, making sure everybody is rallying to the ball and everybody doing their job.
You heard Coach Howard say after the game, he said, in no other situation does a season end like this but a state championship where you know you're coming into the game and win or lose, it's over. You got the win in the middle of a pandemic to finish this season. What is one thing that you will never forget about this season?
Definitely the weather, for sure. It was very cold, but you know, a lot of protocols. That's one big thing. Screenings every day, mask on, social distance. I've never dealt with it sport-wise or even in life. So that's one big memory I'm gonna have.
Absolutely, and as a junior, you're coming back next year, and your junior class this year, prepared to be seniors next, are very scary. You guys are going to have a very impressive team. How excited are you capping off this season, knowing what's to come?
I'm we're very senior heavy on the offense side and defense side. So I know next year, we're going for a state title for sure. No, nothing's stopping us.
You guys showed that you have glimpses of it tonight. Congratulations. Go
Thank you.
celebrate with your team. Great season.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thank you to Dante, and thanks to all the Cooper coaches who are so great to work with and the staff here, Athletic Director John Olfke, for having us here tonight. And we hope you've enjoyed tonight's game and this shortened fall season on CCX, and wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving and holiday season, and stay safe here. And we're hoping that the 4-week pause is just that for high school sports, as Ryan mentioned, and hopefully we can get back and get back to action with basketball and hockey and the rest of the winter sports. So your final again tonight is Cooper 39, Southwest 19. For Ryan Iverson, Allie Mosley, and all of our great CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Cooper.